Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Graham, and today I'm going to be talking about how I became a male au pair. So I've broken it down to my motivations, how I was so successful in my search, and my biggest secret on how you can find that perfect host family too. Alright, so that being said, let's get started. Alright, so this video is especially for you fellas out there who are wanting to become au pairs, but also for ladies too who might be curious as to how to find that perfect host family. But us guys know if you've been searching, it can be really tough to find a host family. Unfortunately, a lot of families are very nervous or uneasy to the idea of having a male au pair. And so a lot of the opportunities that the ladies have are not shared with the guys on this one. And so I thought I would make this video to share with you guys how to find that host family and how to stick out as a male au pair to get host families to trust you and invite you into their home. So first we need to talk about motivations. When I started my au pair search, I knew that I wanted to work in childcare and also that I wanted to travel, and so I was finishing out my first year of college and I knew I wanted to do those things. And where I live here in the south part of the US in Georgia, we don't really have au pairs, it's not a thing here, and so I had no clue what to do. I had applied for a ton of different nannying jobs, I didn't get any of them. I was really disappointed, and I stumbled upon Au Pair World one day and I thought, you know what, I'll just make a profile just to give it a shot, to say that I did, you know. And I never ever expected anything to come out of it, but sure enough, 2 weeks later, I signed a contract with my first host family, and the rest is history. So it is possible to find a host family as a guy, I promise, and a lot of host families are looking for guys. So don't be discouraged if you don't find a host family immediately. My biggest suggestion with motivations is to make sure that your motivations are in the right place. Don't be an au pair if you just want to travel. That's not what it's about. Au pairing is, yes, of course, traveling, but also taking care of somebody else's kids. So you need to like children and be open to the idea of taking care of somebody else's kids, even though it may not always be glorious and glamorous. Okay, so moving right along to my second point, how I was so successful. And I don't mean to brag here, or I don't mean to sound over the top, but I was really successful in all three host family searches. I had a lot of options, and so I'm going to share with you guys how I think you can do that too and have that same amount of opportunity. So the first thing that I think is really important is experience. Do you have experience in childcare or working with kids? So in my case, I did. I tutored elementary reading starting when I was 16, and then I babysat for some families on the side as well. So I did have experience in childcare before becoming an au pair, but it is good to have some experience going into it, and host families like to see that you're reliable and responsible. Another great thing I had was references. So I had a list of personal and work references from past jobs and just from my life that I gave to my host families so they could kind of do their homework on me and make sure that I was who I said I was. My references included, I think it was 2 personal references, maybe like 1 or 2 from church, a teacher, a work reference from somebody that I babysat for in the past, an employer, I used to work at a bakery, and then I had a couple other references if they wanted it, but nobody ever asked for that many references. I thought it was just good to send it to them so they could check if they wanted to. So the third part of my success was an attractive profile on Au Pair World. This one is really underrated, I think, but having a really good profile that is clear, concise, and shows your personality is super important in finding a host family. Your profile is going to be the host family's first impression of you. And so if the text, for example, is scrambled, or it doesn't really make any sense, or it doesn't sound professional, then the host family isn't going to think very highly of you. I also tried to have a lot of really good pictures, not just pictures that, you know, I would post on my Instagram or whatever, but actually really good pictures that showed my face, showed me with other people, you know, just to prove that I'm not fake. But overall, an attractive profile is super important. If you have questions about this, feel free to ask them in the comments. There's no right answer for this, just to make sure that your profile shows your personality and does it in a clear, concise way. The last thing I think that contributed to my success, especially when I signed on for my year-long host family, was that I speak the language of my host country. I am B2 proficient in Spanish, which means that I can communicate clearly and well in Spanish, and so that helped me, especially with families that did not feel comfortable talking with me in English. Depending on what country you want to go to, a lot of the adults may or may not speak English, Spain, for example, most adults don't speak English. So to communicate with potential host parents, you're gonna need to speak a little bit of Spanish, or at least have some understanding of it to kind of ease their nerves, if nothing else. Okay, so that being said, I would like to move on to my last thing, which is my secret for success in looking for a host family. And it's really, really simple, okay? Here it is. Be genuine. Be yourself. Be sincere. They don't want to see some made-up version of you that's supposed to look all professional and fancy. No, they want to meet you. They want to meet the person who's going to be a part of their family and take care of their kids. So be sincere and genuine. And if you don't really love kids, or if you're doing it just to travel, then please don't be an au pair. You won't enjoy the experience, and the host family probably won't either. So have the right motivations. I'll be making another video pretty soon titled, Should I Become an Au Pair? You'll be able to go there and see if au pairing is right for you, or maybe if you should pursue some different avenues like study abroad, or a gap year, or a homestay, or something like that. So before I wrap this video up, just know that these worked for me. These methods, they may not work for you. So you just have to figure out how you can connect with host families best and get your sincerity and your personality across to them in a clear, professional way. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like and subscribe button. I post new content every Monday and Thursday, and I hope to see you then. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.